I'm now joined with Xavier women's basketball head coach Melanie Moore as part of our Big East Mother's Day Spotlight. Coach Moore, how have things been going having a full house at home?
It's been a little crazy, but crazy's good. Just busy, I would say, real busy. And being home is a blessing. You know, we're trying to stay positive with that side of things, and everybody's healthy. We're safe. But it's trying to compromise of, okay, when mommy's in her office and the doors are closed, you can't interrupt. But, you know, and I got see-through windows in here as doors. So my kids will come up to the glass and like knock. If I'm doing a Zoom call or something, they'll be like, you know, so, but it's been good. It's been nice to just kind of be a part of their everyday right now.
And what, if you could take us through a typical day for you, a typical day of working, because you've got Zoom calls and momming and homeschooling, I bet, what does a typical day look like in your household?
Yeah, so we get up about 7:30. We'll get the kids up. I'll get them dressed, get them breakfast, and then I'll kind of be like, okay, I got to go into my office and work a little bit. So we did this at the start for about a month and a half. And then when I always tell them when my doors are closed, that means mommy's working or on a Zoom call or something, so you can't interrupt. Because I'm trying to continue to grow myself, you know, watching other coaches do clinics, stuff like that. And it's funny. So then we started the last 2 weeks, we called More Family Gym Class. So now we get up before we eat breakfast. We'll go on. We have a park near us, so we'll do 2 laps around. So it turns out to be about a 1.5, 1.7 miles. So we do that as a family in the morning. Then we come home. Then we eat breakfast. I'll shower, and then I'll get started with work. So that seems to help just get them going. I just think we've been trying to get them in a routine, and it's like, okay, you know, another day of this. So just trying to keep them on their toes and keep them interested.
That's awesome. Whose idea was the Moore Family Gym Class?
Mine. I thought if I could like sell it to them, like as a, hey, let's go. Oh, yeah. So they were excited, but we were during the middle of the day, we'd call it recess. That was recess, where we would go on a bike ride or a walk, or we go play basketball, something outside. So then we changed it to More Family Gym Class last week. So
I love that. Have you found yourself through all of the commotion? Is there one go-to mom phrase that you have just realized you are saying more and more recently?
Yes. And it's step into my office. So if I have to be like, okay, they need a little regroup here, I'll be like, T, step into my office. I'll be like, Ayla, step into my office. So then they come, they're like, and then we have to have a serious talk, regroup them, and then they're good to go again.
You mentioned before, Coach Moore, how much of a blessing it is to also be home with a safe family. That's one thing. You're not home all the time during basketball season. You're traveling a bunch, recruiting, you're on the road a lot. So now you have a little bit more extra time with your family and with your kids. How are you taking advantage of that? What has been the most special thing for you in these moments?
Yeah, I would say I'll kind of choose both child so that they both get equal love. I'll start with my son. I think for him, he lacks confidence sometimes in school. And so it's been amazing just to see his growth, even in these 8 weeks that we've been together, him thinking he can't do something, it's too hard. And then when he stays positive and figures it out, he can do it. So that's been really cool, because I think when they're at school all the time, you don't see that side of them or see them get through their struggles. So it was neat to be a part of that and high five. And he was so excited, you know, as if he won a championship. And then my daughter, with us moving in the middle of the summer last year, it was kind of hard to get her to get off her training wheels, okay, because she was a kindergartner last year, this year. So in the first 2 weeks of the shutdown, we got her to get the training wheels off, and like just to see her personal growth. Now we have hills around us, so she got all the way up the hill without stopping. So that's been really cool, just to be a part of her growth personally with riding her bike.
So I bet she's the one who during recess time is suggesting, we better go on a bike ride. I want to go on that bike ride, right?
All the time. She doesn't want to walk, where my son is like, oh, let's walk, let's run. And she's all about her bike now. So for sure.
Have there been any moments, or are there any special practices you're doing to give yourself a little alone mom time, as well as you need to you've got the mom hat on, you've got work hat on. And so if you need to just decompress a little bit, is there something that you've been going to with that?
Yeah, so that's when I'll go. So usually my husband does a lot of the grocery shopping just because I'm usually not around. So I've been being like, I'll go to the grocery store. And that gives me a time just to get away with being used to being away and just regroup my mind, go through this, the grocery store, figure that out. As well as I take a lot of walks in the middle of the afternoon and just get on my phone. And I was cracking up because the other day, this was my daughter's phone and she attached her headphones. So I look up one time and I see her in the front yard walking around. And I said, when she came back in, I'm like, Ayla, who are you talking to? She's like, I was talking to recruits, Mom. And
Oh my,
so it is cool. Like you're so like, just in your daily grind, and it's allowed me to kind of take a step back and be like, wow, they're always watching. You don't realize sometimes, but they're watching your every move. So
oh my
just
gosh.
excited to be a positive role model for both of my kids.
Now, if we are making a Big East Moms Mother's Day playlist, what is going to be your contribution? What's your go-to song that you will put on while you're cooking dinner, maybe? What's your song?
Yeah, it's funny because you get so used to listening to certain music and then you have kids and you're like, oop, that's probably the language ain't good for them because then they start singing it. I'm definitely got some Drake on for sure. I'll have some Drake, but I like to take it back to old school, like Lauryn Hill, Boys to Men. So I'll get that going sometimes too.
Well, Coach Moore, thank you so much for joining me and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.